this week it's the hot topic again because we did the overview last week, right?
That is right. Correct.
All right. So what do we got for our hot topic?
Hot topic is coming soon. Sold and historical data will be made available on Realtor.ca listings, making it easier for consumers to get the information they want. So this is actually a good progressive move, in my belief, my personal belief. With the largest number of listings, Realtor.ca is the only real estate website combining board association MLS systems feeds from every real estate board in Canada and remains the most trusted brand by consumers and realtors. There is every single listing on the MLS is there. It is a one-stop shop. They don't get that in the U.S. with MLS.com. In the U.S., each individual broker has to pay and opt in to be on that site. While in Canada, if you're on the MLS multiple listing service, then you get exposure on Realtor.ca. So technology is advancing the real estate industry in Canada, albeit a lot slower than our neighboring United States, but ultimately we will see a lot of same changes happen here. They will happen. So,
now, I guess the important thing here is because there's a lot of tactics to selling your house, of course, whether or not you go in low because you want to get people bidding it up, or do you go high and have them bid you down to that price you want? So I guess this will help people kind of figure out what's going on in their neighborhood a little better?
Absolutely. Right now, you have to ask a realtor to get you that information. So there's a process. It's not as efficient right now as it could be if consumers had that at their fingertips. So
people can do a little bit more of the research themselves and have a bit better idea and be that much better prepared when they're chatting with somebody like you.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to our guest. Why don't you do the big intro because you're so good at them and describe our guest today.
I am very excited because we have here today on our show Nathan Stone of Odessa Group. And Nathan Stone is he partners with his brother, Heath Stone, and they are the visionaries of Harrison Highlands, a development, a community that is outstanding. It's one of the largest master plan communities in the whole Fraser Valley. It has amazing mountain views, river views, eagles soar above. It's just a beautiful place to be. The air is clean, and most importantly, the home you live in that Nathan is building out there is just beautiful and very well built. And Nathan, you had one of the first EnergyStar communities in BC. Is that correct?
Yeah, no,
right
absolutely.
Here.
Thanks for having me. So EnergyStar has been around Canada now for a number of years, but it came to BC about 2.5 years ago. And so we were one of the first people to jump on that bandwagon and start building all of our homes to the EnergyStar standard.
And can you tell us a bit about Harrison Highlands a bit more? I mean, you've got these gorgeous custom-made house plans for only your community, which is just beautiful.
Yeah, so I mean, the Harrison Highlands, we kind of sit right at the joint where the Harrison River and the Fraser River merge. So we've got some beautiful panoramic river views and valley views. It's a 90-acre master planned community that'll someday, as we build it out, hopefully be around 300 to 350 homes. So we've just recently finished off phase 1, which was our first 75 single-family homes, and we're right now in the process of getting phase 2 through all the road building and water and sewer servicing, and have just recently started selling them. So that'll be 59 more single-family lots. But yeah, no, we're very proud of the community. It's been a great opportunity over the last number of years to get to build homes for people that are moving out to that area and just wanting to enjoy all the amenities that we have to offer.
And they're craftsman-style homes. And who is your really target buyer?
They're craftsman style designed. I mean, most of our typical buyers, what we say, are the very active retirees. So these are people that are looking to downsize, maybe not necessarily their footprint of their house, but ultimately maybe their mortgages. So we get a lot of people that are retiring out of the Tri-Cities area, Burnaby, Vancouver, Whistler, had a few come from the Prairie provinces, but people that look and see us as a value proposition and, want to downsize their mortgage and be able to hopefully retire and enjoy that great retirement lifestyle.
Well, I know everyone who's bought into phase 1 has absolutely loved it, and there's like no turnover there because they love living there. So it's live where you play, which is a wonderful concept when you can actually realize you could live in the home and play there in the community where you live. And so there's a little jaunt to Vancouver, but it's not that far.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we always kind of talk about, if you need to be 5 minutes from Starbucks, we're probably not the place to buy. But, if you want to be 10 minutes from Harrison Hot Springs, 20 minutes from skiing, 5 minutes from golf, 4 minutes from fishing for some of the best salmon fishing in the world, we're the place to live. And, with hopefully being able to put a little bit of money into the bank account, you can afford to buy yourself a really nice espresso machine.
And actually, Hemlock Ski Resort just got approved, a few years ago now, but a few $1 billion from the government to improve the resort. So that is just future investment in that area is great.
Yeah, no, we're only about 20 minutes from the ski hill, and so ultimately, the new ownership group there, along with the federal government and the First Nations in the area, have all kind of teamed together to really try and make that ski hill blossom, and hopefully do something like a Whistler style where it's all year round. They're wanting to kind of put in some new marinas there on Harrison Lake, and really improve the ski hills, as well as encourage summer activities like hiking and mountain biking and whatnot.
And of course, one of the benefits too of living in this area, especially when you just head a little bit out of it, is you get the wildlife too. So I imagine where you are, you must have some incredible views of the wildlife coming in and out and around your area.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, right now we're just going into the peak, so I mean it's a world famous eagle watching. They all come here at this time of year, and sometimes there's dozens, but at peak times you can even see hundreds of bald eagles all in the area at once. Obviously, some of the biggest fishing salmon runs come through there. But yeah, no, it's not infrequent that you'll see a deer kind of walking down the street, or maybe see a little black bear off in the woods or something like that, for sure.
Which is always cool when you can see that, especially from your house, so you don't have to run.
Yeah,
and you shouldn't run from bears. I'm just saying, it is pretty cool that you can live in a beautiful house in the middle of nature, but still be not far from anywhere you want to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we're kind of right between Chilliwack and Mission. So, I mean, for major shopping, it's, about a 25 or 30 minute drive to get back to, kind of the bigger shopping areas. But Agassiz's a beautiful little community, has kind of almost anything that you'd need, only about 10 minutes away. And so, I mean, a lot of our retirement people, as I said, they have a little bit more time on their hands. And so ultimately, they appreciate the fact that they don't have to get in their car and drive to go for a hike or enjoy some of the great outdoor amenities. That's right out their back door. And, so for the once a week that they need to go and do a bigger grocery shopping, they don't mind making a bit of a trip of it and grab a bite of lunch and do their shopping. And all of our houses come with great big walk-in pantries, so it's easy to stock up, so they don't have to commute as much.
Those are really nice walk-in pantries too. I mean, they do stand out. You can put fridges in some of them, most of them actually. Nathan, I wanted to ask you, for the buyers, what should they expect, or how long should they expect to wait from writing a contract, like writing the offer, to actually moving in to their new home?
Yeah, so I mean, that does vary a little bit just based off kind of where we're at in the development and construction process. So normally a house takes us about 6 months to build. Right now, we're just putting the roads in and everything. So we're probably not going to be starting the majority of the home construction until the early part of next year. So at that point, our first occupancies right now are in September of next year. But depending on kind of where you're at in the order, I would say anywhere from early next fall to kind of later next year, we're going to start to see a lot of people moving into the neighborhood. And, ultimately we'll be building phase 2 out for probably the next year or so. So if you're not quite ready to make the move, we'll be able to put you farther back in the construction schedule.
And how about financing? How is it different from building custom homes? So our listeners will know.
Yeah, so I mean, when we build custom homes, typically more there, you do a progress draw kind of mortgage. So you go to the bank and you get approved for so many dollars. And then each month as we build your home, ultimately, you go to the bank and you get a draw from them, and then you pay for the work that was done the month before. In our communities, we've actually pre-arranged for the majority of the financing. So we take a 10% deposit when you actually commit to buy the house and we sign the contracts. And then when we actually start building your home, we take another 5%. So a total of 15% of the price of the house is paid at the time when we start building the house. And the rest you don't pay until the house is all done and we hand you the keys. And then at that point, you go to the bank and you get your mortgage from them, and we get paid when the house is all done.
Nice. And I wanted to ask you as well, I mean, right now you're building phase 2, which is the highest point of all of Harrison Highlands with the most massive views, and Mount Chiem you can see from there too as well. And how many do you have for sale right now, like that you've released?
So we currently have opened up, we've got 59 lots in phase 2. We've released the first 16, and we're just looking at probably in the next short while, we might be opening up another section just to give a little bit more variety of product types. But yeah, no, the views are stunning. This is definitely kind of the scenic part of the neighborhood. I mean, even in phase 1, there was unbelievable panoramic views, which really is our selling feature. I mean, it's a little bit disheartening sometimes as a builder. You want people to love your product. And as much as I do believe we deliver a very beautiful home, it's sometimes hard competing with Mother Nature. So,
well, you've had a lot of people ask you to build, like, take your plans. Can we buy your plans and build it somewhere else as well? And it's like this exclusive to Harrison Highlands, right?
Yeah, correct. So we've got 5 plans, and going into phase 2, we actually kept 3 out of the 5 that we had in phase 1. We kept our 3 most popular plans, and we've added 2 new ones in for phase 2. All of our house plans are master on the main. So depending whether you want a rancher or a 1.5 story, we've got a variety of sizes. You can get anything from 1,450 square feet on the small size to just about 4,000 square feet and everything in between, with a variety of number of bedrooms and basements and crawl spaces. So there really is something for kind of every size and budget of what people are looking for.
All right. Well, we'll have to take a quick break here. But before we do that, Nathan, how about you give us your website so if people are interested in what you're doing there at the Harrison Highlands, they can have a look.
Yeah, it's www.harrisonhighlands.com.
Nice and easy. And Michele, let's give your web address again so people can have a look at what you got going on.
MicheleCummins.ca.
All right. We'll be back with more right after this. And we are back with the Cummins Group Real Estate Show, segment number 2. Now, Michele and Nathan are here. Nathan, we're talking about Harrison Highlands here, and you were mentioning that all the homes are EnergyStar. What does that mean?
Yeah, so I mean, we decided a couple of years ago that we wanted to try and build our homes a little bit better than just what the code minimum is. So we chose to go with EnergyStar. So many people are familiar with it. You see it on your TVs or your computers or monitors or even your appliances. You'll see that little blue sticker with the star on it that basically says that, hey, this is one of the more efficient products of this type. So that's what we do with our houses. We get to put one of those little bit bigger blue sticker on the entire house, and basically it means that we're at a minimum 20% better than what a code built house would be on efficiency. So we get there in a variety of ways. We put a little bit added insulation in some key areas. We make sure all the windows and doors are EnergyStar certified, so they've got to be a little bit better. We put LED light bulbs in, as well as EnergyStar appliances. And then we deal with things like air tightness. I mean, a big part of making sure that your home is efficient is making sure it's not leaky. So we do a lot of extra work to kind of make sure that, we're sealing up all those cracks around windows and doors and electrical outlets to make sure that you're not wasting energy out those little leaks.
We learned about passive homes in a past episode, so it's interesting that that you're already leaning towards that direction already with this EnergyStar approval. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, and so what I would say is this is a stepping stone. I mean, I take my hats off. I've got a lot of good builder friends that build to passive house or even net zero standards. So, I mean, that really is kind of the benchmark of efficiency, but it does come with a bit of a price tag as well. So, with our side of it, because we are, kind of a community builder, we thought, well, how can we, have the most amount of impact while keeping the house price the same? And so we chose to go with EnergyStar because it's a well-recognized brand. It's a third-party audited system. It isn't just me saying this. We have energy advisors that come in and actually have to assess the home. They model them, make sure that what we're saying is actually the truth. They do blower door tests, so we don't just say that they're not leaky. They actually do tests to make sure that they're a little bit more airtight. And we don't charge anything extra. I mean, when we started in phase 1, because it was quite new to the province, we actually didn't even really tell anybody that they were getting an EnergyStar home until we were about halfway through. And once we kind of were like, we can do this and we're doing it consistently, then we kind of started letting everybody know. But it was kind of, you're just getting this because it's, I feel, the way to go when we're building new homes.
Very cool. Now, if people, you must have a house that people can look at, right? You must have something there that people can look at. What are the hours for it? What can they do?
Yeah, we have a show home. We have a great sales staff that looks after that for us. So we're open Wednesdays through Sundays, 11 till 5. So closed Mondays and Tuesdays. But yeah, 11 till 5 at the Harrison Highlands. The easiest way if you want to get there, just Google Highlands Boulevard, Kent, BC. And that will pop it up, and that'll get you to the entrance to our subdivision. And from there, you just follow the site signage to the sales center. But stop on by. It's a beautiful community. Even if you're not buying, it's still worth the drive just to come and see the view.
Sounds very cool. Now, Michele, you were going to ask Nathan something about some awards.
Yes, Nathan is actually an award-winning builder and president of the Home Builders Association. I don't know how you find time for everything.
Yeah, no, it's very rewarding, but time consuming for sure. So yeah, no, this year I'm the national president of the Canadian Home Builders Association. I got involved probably 10 or 12 years ago just at our local Fraser Valley chapter, and kind of was able to progress through the ranks. And really, for me, that was about just giving back to the industry. I mean, ultimately, housing is something that affects more than just us. I mean, it's one of the largest employers in British Columbia. We employ just over 200,000 people in the residential construction industry. So it's a very important thing, but more so than that, everybody needs somewhere to live. And ultimately, there's a lot of things that happen whether it's government or market or just people wanting to make changes to the building code. And so I thought it was good to be involved to make sure that, one of the people that's actually doing this day in and day out building houses was in there trying to make sure that we're looking out for the average Canadian that just someday hopes to buy a house.
And you, Odessa Group, you actually build commercial as well.
We do. Yeah, we do a variety. We've done everything from tilt-up warehouses to offices, retail, a hockey rink, and a hotel in the mix there as well. So yeah, I know that.
Where's your hotel at it?
We have a hotel in Chilliwack.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what goes into building a hockey rink? I mean, a lot of people probably have wondered that, and I've looked around rinks many times. I got a hockey player for his son. So, I know it's a much more complicated build than people think.
Yeah, I mean, the building itself is fairly straightforward. I mean, really, the uniqueness of it's everything in the ground. I mean, ultimately, most people don't realize that we actually put heating systems under the cooling systems of hockey rinks. So because what happens is, as you're freezing the ice, you've got all these cold pipes under the ice that are freezing it. The challenge is it also freezes the ground. And as that ground continues to freeze deeper and deeper, you risk actually having it heaving, frost heaving, you'll hear, which isn't too common in BC. People in the prairies get that. But so ultimately, they actually use a heating system underneath in order to make sure that the ground doesn't freeze down too far.
That is so neat. That's so interesting.
I've had many thoughts about, I wonder how all this is done. I wonder, I'd love to see them when they're putting one together, but I haven't seen that. So that's cool. You just answered a question that's been driving me nuts for a long time.
Yeah.
As the president of the Home Builders Association, you must know the most upcoming or talked about or hot topic in the building industry. What's happening? What should we look forward to in the future?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. I mean, I spend a lot of time doing it, so I'll talk about federally because that's where I spend most of my time right now. The big thing for us right now is housing affordability. I mean, it truly is issue number one. We're going to be having a federal election here in just under a year, and so millennials across the country are having challenges, first-time buyers getting into the market. And so we kind of are looking at a couple of key areas. One is with the new mortgage stress tests. It's, making it a lot more challenging to be able to qualify for a home. The reduction of amortization periods. So your mortgage, you used to be able to get 35 and then 30 and now down to 25-year mortgages. So that's been another big challenge for people getting into the housing market. And then overall, just, layers of regulation that cause a lot of issues as far as cost. I mean, mortgage rates are going up right now. So we really just try and advocate, on behalf of consumers, because really, I mean, we as an industry know that if we make sure we work diligently to try and make sure that, everybody's dream of being able to potentially become a homeowner is achievable, then I end up being able to have a job for the rest of my life building those homes.
And I, as a consumer and a realtor, thank you so much for all the time you volunteer doing that. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's very rewarding.
It must be a lot of work, too, because you have so many different elements that weren't around 10 years ago. Like we talked about, Michele ran into some people where the people across the street were building their homes from YouTube. And, of course, codes have changed, and they change constantly. And there must be a lot of, there's a lot of people out there on Craigslist going, I'll put a skylight in for you for, $200. It's probably not going to be the code, and it's probably not going to be the best feature you can buy. So you have to deal with a lot of that kind of stuff and figuring out how to handle that?
We do. I mean, there's a lot of do-it-yourselfers. And when I say that, I mean, there's a lot of very talented homeowners that actually do a great job. But, we always kind of likened it to, before you go on a really long road trip, or you're going to try and figure out how to put a new set of brakes on watching YouTube, right? Especially if you're maybe going to go and do the Coquihalla probably not the best thing. You might want to hire somebody that knows what they're doing. So we always kind of say the same thing with, building a home. It's your single largest investment for most people. And so ultimately it's nice to have the confidence and assuredness that, you have somebody that really kind of knows what they're doing building that and is going to be there in the long run to make sure that the home's serviced.
It all makes sense.
If you want to come out to Harrison Highlands this weekend, today and tomorrow, the Eagle Festival is happening as well. And you can see, I have a client who actually is a photographer for the Eagle Festival, and they have done studies and counts, and they've counted more eagles in that area than anywhere in the world. So the count of how many eagles are there. So come out, check out Harrison Highlands, and you can go to the Eagle Festival as well.
Oh, that's perfect. Love that. I just have a question for you, and this might be a silly one, Nathan, but I noticed that it's a family business. You work with your brother. How do you handle that?
Well, some days better than others. I think it's unique in our sense is that, we're kind of very unique in our roles. So as my brother says, he describes our personalities of he wants to know what time it is and I want to know how to make a watch. So because we're very differently minded that way, we tend to kind of work in our strengths, and that seems to kind of make things end up okay.
It's all worked out so far.
So far, so good.
Excellent. Well, it's great having you in here today. And of course, Michele, as always, I guess we should probably give your website a plug again so people know where they can go to check out these incredible homes that you're building there in Harrison.
Yeah, again, it's www.harrisonhighlands.com. And if you want any other information, it's got lots of stuff, floor plans, site plans, hours of operations, kind of pretty much everything you need is on the website.
And you can actually hover over a lot and then see which plan you want on that lot. And is that,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, for
right
sure.
On the
you
website.
Can kind of, if you have your favorite house plan, you can kind of look around and see which lots that it'll fit on for sure.
And Michele, if people want to see what listings you have right now, where do they got to go?
MicheleCummins.ca.
And what will they find there? Everything they need, really, right?
Everything.
So it's got listings, it's got details on everything they could possibly need to know.
You got it.
All right.